Ready here?
Yep, when you are.
Okay, my name is Lieutenant Justin Newsom, Justin-Newsom, Austin Police Homicide. We're here today to talk about the filing of charges on Erwin Pentland for the murder of Philip Liberty. Erwin is and has been in custody since December 2nd on an unrelated charge, but related to the case, on an endangering of a child. Philip Liberty was found murdered on November 19th. We reported on it at the time. The facts of that murder and the subsequent arrest of Ernie Pentland have been reported previously. Pentland was an associate of Mr. Liberty's. He was first arrested for the endangering of a child based on his handling of Mr. Liberty's 2-year-old grandson after the murder occurred. Subsequent investigation and an exhaustive investigation by homicide detectives has led to further evidence that makes Mr. Pentland complicit in the murder of Philip Liberty. Through bank records, through mail and phone intercepts from the jail, through various search warrants on various items of property from Mr. Pentland, that has led us to the point where we have enough to believe and do believe that Mr. Pentland is responsible for Mr. Liberty's death. Any questions?
Oh yeah, talk to us about what exactly happened.
Well, you can see by the affidavit. I don't want to get into too many details because all the details are already laid out as to what happened in here. I don't want to vary from that because so much time was put into specifically crafting what was in here so that we don't release other details.
Right. I mean, we just want, you know, some sound, if you will, on what exactly happened.
Other than what's in the affidavit, we're going to stick with that.
So it mentioned in all of these communications, there seems to be a lot of oblique sort of messages between Pentland and his wife and some other associates.
Right.
And what appears to me, at least, that they were looking to find some way to hide or keep this laptop out of the possession of Austin police investigators.
Sure, it appears that way to us as well. Obviously, no one's admitted that, to us yet, but just based on the oblique conversations they've had between each other, based on the location of where it was found, which is in the affidavit, and based on Mr. Pentland not being forthcoming with people as to where that laptop was, then we do believe that he was trying to hide that.
Follow-up are any of the folks that he was communicating with now under investigation for any sort of like obstruction?
Currently, they're not, no.
Okay.
Are you able to talk about a motive at all?
Well, based on the fact that large amounts of money were taken from Mr. Liberty's accounts, we believe the motive is possibly, it's at least looking like the motive was financial gain. And so they were acquaintances. They were entering into a business proposition together. We know of no adverse encounters between them that led to this. It just appears, based on the history and the evidence that the homicide detectives have found, that this was a thought-out, somewhat organized scheme by Mr. Pentland in order to commit this murder for the sole purpose of profiting financially.
I know and are you able to speak, from where the body was found, do you think he was going, or is there a thought that he was going to go back to the home? It just seemed like it was, I think it said an abandoned attempt.
Sure.
To put it in the car.
It appears, based on the evidence of where the murder happened, based on the physical evidence that was found in that location, the blood that was there, and then the drag marks taken him to the garage, based on the way the car was parked and some of the other items that were in the garage, we do believe that his intent was to load the body into the car and take it away from that scene.
Any idea as to why he...
Don't know why, although anyone that's ever tried to lift a person who is unconscious or a deceased person, it's a lot more than you bargain for. So, we don't know if possibly Ernie was just unable to lift Mr. Liberty because, you know, that much weight without assistance is hard to lift.
Can you talk to us about some of the things you guys had to do to really put this all together?
It was exhaustive. And so, like any murder, you start with what you have in the beginning with the crime scene, and that was a 12-hour day, simply gathering evidence at the crime scene, putting those pieces together, interviewing witnesses, and you go from one step in the evidence to the next. And each step in the evidence would lead to a next. And to the point where it led to us having all the facts we have that led to this charge being filed.
Can you talk about the significance of the things that were uncovered once you got access to the laptop?
I can't speak to what was on the laptop.
Was a weapon found ever? It's been connected to this?
I would prefer not to comment on that at this point.
What about the watch?
Again, that's something we're still working on.
And Mr. Pentland, I assume, is no longer cooperating with APD.
No, he stopped that night. Anything else?
Good here.
Thank y'all.
Just
Thanks, guys.
real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
If you can just put out a one-liner there that we're asking if anybody's had any business transactions with Mr. Pentland,
Okay.
financially or dealing with firearms, so we'd certainly be interested in hearing from them.
Okay. We ask that anyone who may see this report that has any information of Mr. Pentland's previous business ventures or has had any contact with him in such regards to come forward and contact us so that we can get a better history of the things that he's been involved with.
Thank you.